Okay, so the last time I talked to you, you couldn't tell me anything.
Right.
Now you can tell me everything.
There it is.
This is far different than anything Marvel has done.
By far the best Marvel movie ever made.
Which is what they say about every single one. But this one I think is legitimate.
Oh,
this one I think is legitimate.
Take that, Avengers.
I know. I was really surprised by this because this is less comic booky than everything Marvel's done to this point. Far more serious in tone. Right. Were you surprised by the approach that they were taking to this Captain America film with kind of the stage set in the universe from everything they had done before?
Not at all. I think coming off of the Avengers, because basically this picks up with Cap leaving New York and coming out of the Avengers. When you look at Captain America, he's basically every man's superhero. You know, he's the guy every guy want to be, the guy every girl wants to date, the guy every dad wants his daughter to marry. He's every guy's guy. And when dealing with that and the history and the backstory of Captain America, you have to deal with it in a serious matter. Also to just be cheesy. You don't want Captain America being like, well, I heard there's an internet now, you know, because then it was just, that's not a Marvel movie. I feel like Marvel deals in reality in a very specific way. And I think that's why you look at the diversity of this cast. I think that's why you look at the spectacle that is the second half of this movie with the action sequences, and it all feels real.
There's also a deviation from kind of the origin of the Falcon from the comics. Right. Does that then free you up to kind of do a lot of different things because now you're not beholden to the fans, you're not beholden to the source material. Right. So does that kind of give you a blank slate to kind of play with who Falcon is now moving forward? Well,
there still is a lot of truth to who the Falcon is in the comic book. The reality of it is the Falcon had 3 incarnations throughout his comic book life because the Falcon is actually a representation of African American people at the time in which he was introduced in the comic book. So as we evolved, he evolved. And now, basically what he is now, this is kind of his 4th incarnation. So they took all 3 of them and kind of added a little spice and made him who he is because, you know, it would be kind of comical to have him in a red suit with a bird, his superpower being to see through the eyes of all the birds in New York. It wouldn't be cool. You know, and I think Marvel has a way of dealing with superhero powers in reality and making them kind of realistic. And I think that's kind of what they did with the Falcon with this.
Trust is a big theme and a big part of the way that this film plays out.
Also distrust.
Yes, right. But here you have Falcon, who is doing a lot of things for what it basically amounts to a complete and total stranger. Right. But they have this kinship based on kind of shared life experience and also kind of shared philosophy. Mm-hmm. You know, what is it about these 2 characters that bring them together to kind of have this great partnership? You know, both in the source material, but also now through the MCU.
Well, it's soldier law. It's you know, both of them are veterans coming home from war, having loved a fellow soldier and lost him in battle. So they have a common kindred spirit to what it is to be a returning soldier. Sam Wilson is a counselor. He's a VA counselor for soldiers coming home dealing with PTSD. And that's how he and Cap bonds. He understands what Cap's going through. And he's the only person that never asks Cap for anything. He just wants to help him. He just wants to know him because he is the ultimate soldier. And there are certain people that are in the military because they love being a soldier. And that's how these 2 guys are. They don't want to change the world, they just want to save the world. And they feel like they can do that by helping one soldier at a time.
How much do you get keyed into the future of Falcon and the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because obviously now Avengers Age of Ultron is on tap. Right. Captain America 3 is going to open up kind of phase 3. Right. Do you move one film at a time, or does Kevin Feige come to you and say, hey, this is kind of where we're going, just to kind of fill you in so you know?
You pretty much wait for a phone call. I mean, you know, it's funny when you look at S.H.I.E.L.D. because Kevin Feige is Nick Fury. And no one knows what's going on except Kevin Feige. That's how they keep all of this so secret. So that's why I left my summer open. I'm like, if you need me for Avengers, I can be in London in 8 hours, but just give me a day and I'll be there. So, I mean, you know, they start shooting in a week and I still don't know if I'm in the movie. Wow. So I'm highly anticipating the idea. Anthony, Kevin, London tomorrow. And there we go, you know?
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it.